So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samuel and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone, and who doesn't want to make self-growth normal, then make sure to smash that like button. Newport has 4 different rules in this book. He begins by talking about what's called the passion hypothesis in Rule 1, called Don't Follow Your Passion, where he basically just tears the passion hypothesis apart. He tells us about how Steve Jobs said something that's he's famously known for having what is up with my grammar this month? I really think this is a Monday thing. Something Steve Jobs had said there we go, I can feel Tuesday, I can feel it's coming already. Either Tuesday or better Mondays. Steve Jobs said in his Stanford commencement speech, it's something that, to follow your passion, it's something that really just contradicts his earlier actions in life, and the author talks about those. It just doesn't make sense to simply follow your passion. It seems in a common topic in this book that he finds himself coming back to is work enjoyment. A lot of us Gen Zers, whatever people call us, from what I hear, don't value the fulfillment, the gratification that comes out of genuine work. This frightens me. A coworker of mine with lots of experience, super lethal salesperson, 20 years of retail experience. She was folding socks at the age of 9. Told me the other day, I love that you want to take leads when they come in. We kind of distribute leads amongst ourselves. She said, I love that because we've had people who come in and don't want to take leads. I'm not gonna assume all of those people were born between the years 97 and right now, but they don't want leads. Why wouldn't you want leads? If you don't want leads, do you want your family to survive? You want your kids to get a quality education? You want to be able to afford all those different insurances that we have nowadays? All those expenses? Do you care about the legacy you leave behind in the world? Do you care about helping other people? Do you care about helping yourself? Do you care about anything? If you answer no to any of these questions, at least the ones that, apply to your situation, why would you get a sales occupation at all? Maybe that's just the way I look at it. Maybe it's the way my coworker probably looks at it. I'm not saying someone is dumb or lazy for approaching it in another way, but live your life with the notion that you cannot get something for nothing on your mind, and I promise you will notice that this is a super fact. It is, and it's not going to become any less true no matter what happens in our 2020 thank you economy. The catch is that genuine work, both hard work and smart work, is what has formed the developments of civilizations across the planet, let alone America. One idea is that we kind of force a skill on ourselves and then we kind of teach ourselves to love it. It almost feels like he's taking us in the book through this journey of what could be a one-size-fits-all approach, or at least a one-size-fits-all approach for those who are willing to put in the work. But here's something that stood out like crazy in Rule 2, called Be So Good. It's the name of the book. Jordan had a name for the worries about what his friends are doing with their lives and whether or not his accomplishments compare favorably. The cloud of external distractions. This cloud is an ongoing battle. Along these lines, Steve Martin was so unsure during his decade-long dedication to improving his routine that he regularly suffered from crippling anxiety attacks. I've dealt with this. I've had anxiety attacks over this. Do you have any experience with it? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious. This book will make you question the rarity of your skill sets. Not just that, but you will look at whether you approach the advancement of that skill set from what Newport calls either Newport, the author, by the way, Cal Newport, not that poison manufacturer. Whether you approach the advancement of this skill set from what Newport calls either a craftsman mindset or a passion mindset. Based on what you've seen in this review, which one of those two is more useful to others and profitable to yourself? When scientists began measuring the experts' supposedly superior powers, no general superiority was found. In other words, outside a handful of extreme examples such as the heights of basketball players, scientists have failed to find evidence of natural abilities explaining expert successes. It all comes, more than anything, from deliberate practice. And a lot of people hate that because, and I kind of agree with them, That's the boring part. But I don't know. When you think about like all the rewards and everything, and how amazing it's gonna feel to get them to be like so good that they can't ignore you, your imagination finds ways to make it fun. Isn't that weird? Steve Martin with banjo, he was like, well, this is a very difficult instrument to learn. I have no idea how to use it, but if I, Steve Martin, play every day for 40 years, most people are good at something if they do it every day for 40 years, so why wouldn't I be good at it in 40 years? In Rule 3, called Turn Down a Promotion, Newport talks about control, what he likes to call the dream job elixir. It's got some cool names for things like that. He talks about the resistance it creates as you cultivate more of it. You have to be willing to pay for that control, that autonomy, and what that actually means, like what it means to pay. All the different things that means, which I was very surprised about the variety of, the author also talks about in the book. There are a lot of things he covers in this book. I was quite surprised. In Rule 4, I think it's called Think Small and Act Big. Probably my favorite. Sounds like something Jeff Bezos would say. And all these laws too that the author talks about, at least in this one, like the law of financial viability and the law of remarkability, sound like something straight out of like a Napoleon Hill book because of all these different laws. What I think is remarkable about this book more than anything is how well he organized and presented its contents. In the conclusion, which was notably long, at least in the audiobook, the author talked about how he applied the knowledge he acquired from putting the book together to obtain his dream position as a professor. But this dude's storytelling is very stellar, and I think that's a main reason I found this conclusion so captivating. Concepts like career capital and turning down promotions for strategic control over professional advancement are just not normal. I made music for 3 years. I made so many beats that I use them in all these videos. I pray for the day people get sick of them so I can make more. And the more I learned about business while listening to these books, the more I was like, whoa, this industry is being torn apart. If I'm gonna create something incredible with my life, I need to look at what I'm doing with music and shift my focus. I shouldn't do it in an industry where everyone seemingly is just like walking over themselves and each other over less money every year. What Newport calls a winner-take-all market versus an auction market. The one I'm going more into now with self-education. Something which, by the way, I was paying attention to for all those 3 years. Lots of these books I listened to during those 3 years, including this one. Auction markets are where there's a lot more opportunity. And anywhere where that is not true, and any way in which it is not true, the author also kind of talks about a little bit in the book. I mean, I made some music that I still listen to it sometimes and imagine what it would sound like now and what I would write about and stuff, and I guess this is my direction one. This book is a hallmark almost of skill acquisition. It's where the value of your services meets the perceived value of other people's money. It's somewhere between a glimpse of and a guide to career fulfillment and advancement at the same time, which is remarkable. It has the law of remarkability. I don't find all of that in one book often, but if this is something you'd be interesting, I definitely recommend checking it out. Working right trumps finding the right work. Stop focusing so much on the details, focus instead on getting better. I totally needed to hear that one. Derek Sivers, the CD Baby founder, said this one: people ask me how I funded my business. I tell them, first, I sold one CD, which gave me enough money to sell two. It grew from there. We were bored, available, and ambitious. A dangerous combination. Direction 2. If you like this book, I definitely recommend checking out Purple Cow by Seth Godin, which is actually mentioned a couple times in So Good They Can't Ignore You, and Disrupt You by Jay Samit. That dude did a spectacular job in Disrupt You. So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video, if you want to check those out too. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't get how people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe, but if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.